So you might want to create that backing track that you've just seen, that example. I'm going to show you how to do that very, very quickly now. We're just going to do the 3 parts. Now you might have someone who we really want you to play all these, play the instruments that you've been learning for the last few weeks kind of live, but we also want you to kind of interact with the technology as much as you can, because you might, for instance, not have a drum kit player, or a bass player, or you might want to focus on doing some singing and you can't do both at the same time, for instance, and that's fine. But what we need to do is sequence or create a backing track that will help you to kind of free up your time. So I'm going to show you the 3 different sections of or 3 different parts of the backing track. The first part is the drum part, which I'm going to do now. So I press the plus button, go to acoustic drums. Okay, and I'm just going to turn my microphone off. Okay, so that's the first. That is the first pattern that I'm going to do, and over the top of that, I'm going to have a hi-hat pattern. Which is basically 8. Okay, quavers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to record that in. I'm going to go to my settings at the top, press tempo, go down to about 90. And I'm going to record that first bit in. I'm going to do 2 bars. I'm sorry I'm turning my microphone off. For some reason it seems to have some weird echo when I'm using GarageBand. So record those 2 bars in with all those different parts. You'll be able to hear it and see it, and then follow along where you are. So I think that's sounding pretty good. When I play it back, it might echo. So I'm going to just alter the quantization of that to an 8th note. Okay, and that's there. Now we obviously want 12 bars. So I'm going to add 12 bars in. Perfect. I'm going to loop that now. You might want to add in a little fill. I'll let you do that in your own time, but I'm just going to go quite quickly with this, so you just get a bit of a setup of how it is. Now I'm going to record on the bass line, because in my band we don't have a bass player. We want to free up our time to do other things. That's absolutely fine. So I want to add a bass line in. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of going to bass, I'm actually going to keyboard, because we've learnt it on the keyboard. If I go to the middle there and I go to other, and I go to P bass, that's what I want, and I'm going to record it in like that. So I'm going to do that in a second. I'm just going to turn off my microphone again and do the whole of the 12 bar blues. Okay, but each time I'm going to stop and just make sure it's accurate, and I'm going to quantize it. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but I just won't be able to speak over the top, which is really frustrating. But each time I basically record in chunks. So I don't want to record the whole thing in case I make loads of mistakes. Record in small chunks, then I'm not stressed. Okay, so I'm going to switch off now and watch me do the walking bass. And voila, it is done. So I can now have a look at that and quantize. You notice I did it for a quarter. So that, if let's just say that you wanted just a small switchback backing track with bass line and drums, that'd be a great way of doing it. You could go one step further and you could add in the chords, but we want to encourage you to use as much of those skills and techniques as you've developed over the last few weeks and months. So make sure you're talking to a teacher about what you can do. Now it's quite hard to play the chords as you would traditionally on a keyboard. I press the plus button, goes to keyboard. There it is, and it was hard for me to play that bass line actually just then. But what you could do is you can make mistakes, and if you go smaller, you don't get all of the notes you want. That might be a bit tricky. So what I would suggest is, because we're using technology, you might as well use it efficiently and appropriately and use it for what it's there for, to give us capabilities that we wouldn't have otherwise. So if you go to this bottom right button there, it takes you to sort of smart chords. And if you edit the chords at the top, E minor goes to, let's say, G major, G major, C major, and then D major. We've got our chords. And that's all you need to do, okay? And I'm going to press record, and I'm going to show you now how that works. I'm sorry if there was a bit of interference there with the recording. So hopefully you'd have been able to see that. I did that the whole way through because I was quite confident there, but you could break it up and you could just do the G major first and then just do the next line, and then the next line after that, obviously the three lines we've got, that ABA structure. Let's have a listen back to it and have a little look and see what we think. I think that sounds pretty good. When I was at to an eighth note, because I did use some quavers there. But this is my backing track. So you have a little see if you can try and do the same thing. I'm sure you can. And then we can look at adding in other parts that we can play to that backing track. Okay.